Seriously, people, what the actual... So I had a day the other day where my reflex sympathetic dystrophy was really trying to like take over my body. So I thought, I'm going to spend today resting my body and relaxing and having a calm day. And that did not happen, because as soon as I went on Facebook, I was absolutely inundated with all of these live streams about this horse, which appeared to be a quarter horse paint or some mixture thereof, running down a freeway. And of course, I click on this live stream, and the live stream gets me up to date, and they have the horse in the median of the road, and he has been stripped of all of his gear. He's obviously tired, he's obviously panting, he's obviously trying to cool down and calm itself down from the event it has just went through. I didn't have a lot of information other than I knew the horse had gone through something he was not physically capable of performing, that he had not been trained and worked up to this level of physical feat. And then the cameraman caught for me exactly what I needed to see. The horse in his back end, his pasterns, which is basically a horse's ankle, and they stand up in him. This horse was sitting down in them. He did not have the power to lift and sit off of his pastern. Normally, he was down in his pastern. That tells me there is a ligament issue. I immediately responded on this thread, hoping that maybe somebody was there listening, that somebody that was going to be able to get the appropriate care for this horse. I knew that help was on the way. I didn't know who was there currently taking care of this horse, and I said, hey, I believe this horse has got some tendon injuries, possibly in both hind legs. Please be careful when transporting. Please be careful when asking him to walk. If it is a tendon that is in a bind, that is bowed, that is in some way fixing to snap, it could be lethal for this animal, because once that occurs, the animal will have to be euthanized. And immediately the man that was doing the stream said, oh, it's another white woman trying to take another piece of property from a black man. Which I responded, no sir, this has absolutely nothing to do with race. I've only just now logged in. I just see the horse surrounded by emergency personnel. All I see is a horse that has tendon issues, that is obviously struggling and in pain. I don't know anything other than that. Of course, then he starts preaching off, oh yeah, you white witches, you can shut up. I know that you're just here because you want the po-po to take this man's horse. You got to take the black cowboy's horse, because you wasn't just okay taking his land and his family and his ancestry and doing what you want. You got to now come down and take his horse. And I was sitting there going, why? Why does everything have to go to racial? It's like, can we have a conversation? No. What we're going to have is a racial shitstorm. Sorry. Oh, you have a heart and a brain and can link them both? Sorry. We can't. So we're just going to attack people. So I follow the story because I'm worried about this horse. I did see that they pulled up with a police trailer and loaded the animal, so I knew the animal was in police custody, and that surely to my goodness he was going to go get aid. I felt better. I was irritated with the guy streaming. I was irritated with his ignorance. I was irritated with his racial profiling and the way that he could bifurcate his brain and think that anyone that was trying to deal with this animal must also have a racial issue for caring about an animal. How do you make that judgment split in your brain? How do you bring those two things forward? Out of everything in your brain, you bring those two things forward instead of people that are maybe animal lovers, that own horses, that have had a horse get an injury like this before, people that are worried, people that were worried for the motorist on the freeway, people that were worried for the emergency workers on the freeway, because he wasn't the best place to be. Hello? No, it was obviously all racially motivated. America, check yourself. Your ignorance is showing. Anyway, I followed up on the story. This horse, bless its heart, went down immediately as soon as they got it out of the trailer at the ASPCA place wherever they took it. It went down immediately, and it has not been back up. I do believe that there's some suspensory ligament issues, especially in the back end. And if you all are horse people, you know that the back end is way worse than the front end, because the back end has those two ligaments. Those two, one is, they run parallel to the coffin bone, and one is super deep and one is superficial. But they must both work in order for the animal to be able to handle its weight, mass, and to basically have the ability to get up and get around. And unless you people have lived under a rock your entire life, you know that horses with leg injuries, they cannot hold their own weight up and get around. They normally have to be euthanized, because a horse that lays down puts a lot of stress on its lungs and its heart and its other internal organs, and they can't live a good life that way. They end up getting other issues because of the pressure on their internal organs, because they're not built to lay down, people. They're not. So they end up getting a lot of internal issues because of the weight and pressure on their internal organs, and they have to be put down eventually anyway. That is why leg issues in horses are so bad. I had a horse that I bought once that a lady had not treated well. He had a bow tendon in the front leg. And I treated that horse with such respect, because I knew if I did not baby this horse, he was going to become a more injured animal that would not be able to function. Guess what? That horse, because of the care and compassion of his owner, lived to be 37 years old. I am the daughter of a farrier. I know what I'm doing when it comes to horses. I worked in horse barns all the way from grade school through college. That's how I paid a lot of my college bills. I mucked out 30 horse stalls a day and rode 10 to 15 head a day. I have done everything that you can do with like training aspects with horses, care. I mean, I've even given a hot oil treatment to a Pasifino champion, grand champion. Yes. I'd never had a hot oil treatment myself, but I gave that horse one every Saturday, and he looked beautiful. So I took it as a great insult that our nation has caved to such a level to where even when people express care about an animal they see in trauma, in pain, that people want to then take away from that moment and turn it into a racial piece of crap. I'm so over our nation catering to people who want to turn everything into an argument. This was an animal that was relying on humanity to take care of it. It asked for nothing and offered everything of itself. And people could not take 5 minutes and focus on the animal. They instead used this animal to make a statement for their community. And when the man that was taken to jail for animal abuse, who he's still in jail, thank Jesus, he said he would do it again. He had no bad feelings. Well, sir, you are a sorry horse owner. You are an absolute waste of space in a barn. No horse should be subjected to the trauma you would put it through. I feel horrible that this beautiful animal met somebody with such an ugly heart and the inability to examine his heart and say, you know something, this PR stunt is not worth the life and the health of this animal. You, sir, suck balls. And so as I was attacked for sticking up for this horse and it became a racial issue, I now understand it doesn't matter if my panties are on backwards, it's racially motivated. If you sneeze, it's racially motivated. If your car backfires on the highway going to work, it's racially motivated. Y'all, it's time to stand up. We are being punked as a nation. This is stupid. I responded because I saw a lame horse. I saw a lame horse that I didn't know if the people on scene knew how to deal with the specific leg injury that I suspected it had from my years of being a horse owner, a pre-vet student, and a farrier's child. I wanted to make sure they didn't worsen that until somebody that had that knowledge got there. But all of a sudden, I'm a racist. Stupid. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid that this is what humanity and society has caved down into. I hope the horse does well, but I don't have a lot of hope. I believe it's probably going to have to be euthanized. And we as a conglomerate of human beings are now to the point Where 5 minutes ago, if you were abusive to an animal, you got criminal charges. You had felonies placed on you, and you were demeaned. But now, as long as it's a political stunt or a PR shit firestorm that you're starting so that you can make a point and you can cast blame and doubt on somebody else, it doesn't matter what you're doing to these poor animals that are subjected to us, that simply try. That horse tried its heart out for 7 miles. That horse ran its heart out for that stupid man. And his issue is that he doesn't feel anything bad. He would do it again because the PR needed to be there. PR for what? Stupidity? Lousy horse ownership? Anybody with half a brain knows to not get on a horse that is not trained and try to push it 7 miles on an expressway that's meant for vehicles. It's illegal to have a horse on an expressway. And anybody that thinks I was racially motivated because I was concerned for this animal, literally take yourself to a psychiatrist and say, you know something, I have some deep-seated issues that we need to get through. The first one being paranoia and complete lack of ability to associate in society positively. What, we've got 40 plus dead? Now a horse. Way to go, America. Way to go. Oh my God, I'm wearing hoop earrings. Wait for the Latina women to come for me. This is stupid. This is not how you live life, people. This is not how you live life. What happens? What happens from here? When do we start just caring about people, places, and things again? Where we place our heart and our love and our energy, and we do good. When does that come back? Put me in a coma till it does. I'm so over 2020.